The Packers need another wide receiver? I'll go get my cleats! Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. This is why we can't have nice things, Grossi, and today we're going to be talking about the breaking news that is Devin Funchess is done for the 2021 to 2022 NFL season, being placed on IR this afternoon, effectively ending his season. And honestly, this story is just a whole bunch of sad. Not just because of the missed potential, but Devin Funchess is going to not play a single regular season snap for the Green Bay Packers because this was the last year of his contract. He sat out all of last year because of COVID. He was injured week 1 of the 2019 season with the Indianapolis Colts. So he literally hasn't played a regular season snap since week 1 of 2019. And he battled back. He was looking good in camp. He was looking good in preseason. And this is just unfortunate. And it was one of those things that I spoke about on the show when we were talking about Devin Funchess, because if he was healthy, which was the big if, I thought he would have made this team. However, even when I was at camp for that week, it was every day he was limping off the field. And so it just seemed that there was a nagging leg injury that was going on with Devin Funchess, and it just kept kind of reoccurring. And so at this point, it seemed that it is going to be the reason that his season is now over. And so what this means for Devin Funchess, the next time he'll be eligible to play will be the 2022 NFL season, which is a long time away from football. So, I wish Funchess the best of luck. I would have really liked to see what he could have brought to the Packers. I said that he brings that veteran presence. He has a different skill set. And again, he looked good in camp and in the first preseason game. But unfortunately, that is no longer going to be the case, as he's done now. Now, while this is obviously unfortunate, this does open the door to conversations about another wide receiver making the roster. And the conversations continue. Will the Green Bay Packers keep 5, 6, or 7 wide receivers? With Funchess injured, I have to think that they're only going to keep 6. You have 5 that are a lock right now with Devontae Adams. You have MVS, you have Allen Lazard, you have Randall Cobb, and of course, Amari Rodgers. So that leaves the door open for at least one other guy. My consensus is going to be Malik Taylor, because he looked really, really good in the preseason game this past Saturday against the Jets. And again, his contributions on special teams do not go unnoticed by the coaching staff. And so the question becomes, if they keep 7, who is that 7th person? Is it going to be Reggie Bagleton? Is it going to be EQ, who has been very, very quiet? Is it going to be Juwan Winfrey, who started off and had a really nice camp, but he's also been dealing with injury issues? So there's a lot of question marks if the Packers decide to keep 7, which again, I don't think they're going to at this point. I think they're going to go with 6. Which one of these wide receivers would make it if they decided to opt for a 7th wide receiver spot? And to add on to the argument against 7, you look at all the tight ends that we could potentially keep on this roster. Yes, Jay Sternberger is suspended for the first 2 weeks, so that might give us some wiggle room. But yeah, I could see the Packers just rolling with 6 and calling it a day. But you never know. They might decide that they want to keep a guy like EQ, who has experience at least in the offense around, or Juwan Winfrey, who has been real good in camp. But we'll kind of see. But obviously this Saturday is going to be big for the remaining wide receivers to see if they can kind of make their statement and make their mark and try to get on the active roster, because cuts are going to be here before you know it. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think the Packers are going to roll with 6 or 7 wide receivers? How do you feel about Funchess? Let me know what you think. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy, all social media, see down below. Check out Packcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout out and thank you to all the patrons over patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.